I got a new robot vacuum. I'm gonna explain which one I got and why while I unbox it for you. Okay, so the vacuum that I picked up is actually just a newer version of the one I already had. This is the Deebot N8 Pro Plus, and what I have in here is the Deebot N10. Now, I'm really happy with my existing vacuum, but this new version of it, the N10, has quite a bit longer battery life and like double the suction, and because I use this thing like twice a day, those little upgrades are gonna be worth it for me. And no, this isn't sponsored or anything. I bought this with my own money. I've been a huge fan of Deebot vacuums for like 7 years now. I think they're the perfect balance of price and performance, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So these N-series vacuums basically have every high-end feature you'd expect from a robot vacuum these days, while still being pretty reasonable price-wise. I don't know how much they are USD. I believe anywhere from like $300 to $500 depending on the sale. The main feature being this auto empty station. If you don't know how these work, basically the vacuum docks up into this station whenever it's done cleaning, and then it empties all the debris into this bag, so you don't have to individually empty the vacuum every time. This is an absolute game changer, especially if you have pets. And then on the vacuum itself, you get LiDAR. LiDAR basically means it can map your entire house, so it's conscious of where it is within the house at all times. This lets you do a whole bunch of things. It not only lets you clean the house efficiently, because it knows the exact perfect route to take to clean as quick as possible and efficiently as possible, but it also lets you do things like tell it via the app or smart home software to clean just specific rooms. So a lot of the times I'll ask this thing just to clean my office. It'll scurry up from under the couch, clean the office, and then go back. The flexibility of knowing where it is huge. Now, it does also have mopping capabilities. This is a water tank that you could fill up with water, and it'll drag a mop behind it and allow you to mop floors. The only feature this thing doesn't have is active mopping. You need to go one model higher to, I believe it's called the T20, where you actually have mops that scrub and rotate and mop the floor as you go along. I mostly have carpet, and obviously being a little bit budget conscious, this is by far the best option in the price range. Like I said, the value for this vacuum for what you're getting is insane. And on top of that, I absolutely love the Deebot app. The experience is amazing. It seamlessly connects with Amazon Alexa, and using Homebridge, I'm able to connect it with HomeKit as well. I know for a fact that these things clean well. I know the empty stations work well. I just absolutely love these vacuums. I'm testing this out over the next few days. Like I said, I don't think it's going to differ much from my N8 that I have currently, but that little bit of extra suction and a little bit of extra battery power will go a long way when I'm running it like 2 hours a day. Anyway, that's my new vacuum. I'll link to it in my bio there if you guys want to check it out for yourselves. I'll keep you updated on the performance of it as I go, and I hope you guys have a great day. Cell phone signal boosters part 2. You guys had a lot of questions in that last video, so I'm going to answer all of them as well as clear a few very important things up. If you didn't see that last video, this is a cell phone signal booster. This antenna goes on your roof, and this one goes inside your home, and it could potentially give you much better cell service. Click that comment to watch the last video where I explain it all in quite a bit more detail. First thing, very important, depending on what country you're in, these cell signal boosters could potentially be very, very illegal. Certain countries, Poland and Australia were the ones I saw a lot on my last video, are really restrictive about what you're allowed to broadcast over radio waves. They do this to prevent people from potentially jamming up really important signals, like ones that first responders or even the military use. If you do use one of these in a country where they are illegal, the penalties for using them are significant. They take this stuff very seriously. So if you're planning on buying one of these, make sure you Google if cell phone signal boosters are legal in your country. Number 2, you need to buy a booster that's tuned to your cell phone carrier's band. These things aren't one size fits all. For context, bands are kind of like TV channels, and every cell phone carrier has a few unique ones, but it's really easy to check which ones you're on. This is actually a really cool interface that anybody with an iPhone can check. All you have to do is go to your dial pad like you're going to call somebody, and then enter this number, *3001 #12345 #star. I know this seems ridiculous, but honestly do this and it's going to automatically pop up with this menu. It's not going to make a phone call. You'll then bring up this hidden menu. This is basically the cell phone diagnostic menu, and you get a whole bunch of really cool things here. What we're going to click here is serving cell info right at the top. That will bring up this menu with a whole bunch of data, but what we're looking for is band info. This is the band that you're currently connected to on your phone. It's important you check this in the exact spot that you want to install the cell phone signal booster, so you're checking what band the specific cell tower is that you're connecting to. Then when you're looking for a signal booster to buy, you're going to want to triple check that the bands that it supports, you'll see they're all very clear here in the title of the signal boosters, are the ones that you're going to be working with. The band part is super, super important, and this won't work if you pick the wrong band, so make sure you do that. Number 3 is, can you use multiple devices or carriers? This ties in very closely to the band conversation we had. As long as you buy a device that supports all of the different bands that you're working with and all the people in your household are working with, then it should be totally fine. Number 4, do you need to register this thing with your cell company? So technically you don't. This thing will work right out of the box. But that being said, some countries, the USA specifically, requires you to register this so the government knows where you're broadcasting these signals from. Again, this comes back to the don't mess with radio waves. We need to know exactly what you're doing for it to work. It doesn't need to be registered for it to work, but you do need to register it for it to be legal. Number 5, this is a really important one that I probably should have led with. This thing cannot create cell signal out of nowhere. You need some level of signal on your property for this to work. The idea is usually there's much better signal up high without interference of your roof or maybe trees. So this antenna is able to grab onto it, then carry it down to inside your home where you need the reception. If you're in an absolute dead area, no bars whatsoever, the likelihood of this thing working isn't very high. This is perfect for those places where you kind of sort of get one bar in a certain place and you can walk around and walk outside, then have it work. That's what this is built for, but this can't amplify signal out of nowhere and just create a cell signal when you don't already have one. Number 6, I think we're on 6, and this is one of the most popular questions I got, is why don't you just use Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi texting? Why are you even worried about cell signal? That's a very valid concern, but what most people don't realize is a lot of the people installing a setup like this are off the grid and don't have internet. For example, my parents who live in an off-grid cabin, and it's who I actually bought this for, they don't have internet at all at that cabin. Cell signal is all they have to work with. So those are the situations when you'll want to look at one of these. For people that have perfectly reliable Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi texting could be a valid solution, and you may not even have to worry about this. Another question that I got a lot was, can I use one of these in my car? The short answer is yes, but you need to get one that's a little bit different. So the ones that are built for home have a very directional antenna, so you could really specifically aim it to get the best reception. Where the ones built for vehicles have something called an omnidirectional antenna, where it can go in all directions, so no matter where you drive, you're still picking up a better signal. These are really popular with like off-the-grid RVers, and the setups look something like this. Just make sure you buy one that's specifically made for a vehicle. Now, lastly, a tip that I got in the comments on my last video for when setting these things up, and this is crucial, and I can't believe I didn't see it elsewhere. If you have a directional antenna for your indoor antenna in your home like this one, where it's sending out the signal directionally, make sure that your outdoor antenna, whether that's up on the top of your house or in a tree, isn't at least sort of kind of pointing towards this antenna. The problem here is this thing is outputting cell signal. This thing is a really strong antenna trying to receive cell signal. They're going to get in an infinite loop and they're going to basically burn up and overheat really quickly. So if you have a directional antenna like this one, make sure they're not even remotely pointed in the same direction so you don't burn the whole system up. Anyway, that was a lot of rambling, but you guys had a lot of questions, so I hope that video kind of helped. For full disclosure, like I said, I haven't actually installed this thing out or tested it yet. I've just been doing a lot of research on them, so I wanted to share that all with you guys. The last part of this video is going to be rigging this up at my parents' cabin, and we're going to be looking at the results and seeing if they're actually worth it. Other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions at all. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.